Molten Z here. Gonna demo my build. This is a Talrasha etched sigil with Aether Walker build. It continuously channels and pretty much keeps everything going. So I have Storm of the Power, Storm Armor Power of the Storm. It's being used mostly because it reduces the arcane power cost of all scales by 3. I apologize. So, and basic magic weapon here with Conduit, which gives you 3 arcane power on crits. This will allow us to be doing continuous damage. Now, we have Hergbrash's Binding, which gives a reduction to the channeling cost of Arcane Torrent. And the reason Arcane Torrent is because it's lightning. And the lightning is so Manald Heal will proc. And it pretty much has to be the main attack. So we have as our options for etched sigils Ray of Frost or Disintegrate or Arcane Torrent. And currently Disintegrate is all arcane damage and Ray of Frost is all cold damage. Let me double check that just to be sure. But yes, Disintegrate. Oh, we do have Fire. But Arcane, 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 Arcane. And Ray of Frost. Cold, 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 cold. So it is possible to do Fire, which would then require that this would be Lightning. But it's not going to channel... Let's see, we got Static Discharge. What did I have before? Static Discharge, I guess. Yes, Fire, Arcane, 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 Arcane. So yeah, we do have Fire or Lightning for the Arcane Torrent. But that gives us this continuous firing. Now each of these little guys, I think, can chance a proc. But as we said now, this Etched Sigil is clearly only going to trigger once a second these extra damages, which is being Meteor and Blizzard. The Meteor, the 7 volleys, is so I can hit 3 or fewer targets because it's a smaller area of effect. It will grant me the boost from Nephir's Boast more often. This is 600 with 900 if I hit 3 or fewer. I've almost got a perfect one here. I can show you there. It's this 675 to 900 range. So as long as we hit 3 or fewer enemies, we're going to get that 900 range. And so the idea is smaller volleys with less area of effect. The overall area effect's the same, but in reality, every meteor that drops, which is also the arcane from Teleport. Now, this is what kind of dictates what I have. I can only do damage with Arcane Torrent, which is the only spell that is part of this trifecta here. It gives me my 4 Talrashas. So the only teleport that gives me any damage is Calamity. Everything else is arcane and doesn't give. So I have to use that. That's part of the Aether Walker. So to kind of get into how these items can only be what they are, I have to have Etched Sigil for the triggering of my other spenders. I have to use Aether Walker for the continuous, and I mean continuous, teleport. You can hold that button down. You can't shoot and hold the button down, but you can shoot continuously and tap the teleport for normal play. As long as you're hitting something every so often, like every 6 teleports you hit somebody, you should keep your mana up. And then of course Death Wish. Now if Death Wish wasn't so great, because that's a 4.25 multiplier, then I'd put Etched Sigil in and I'd have a Talrasha amulet, which I just happen to have here. Oh, that's not the perfect one. I got a perfect one. There it is. So I've got this Talrasha, and we'll just change it here. I'd put that in and get some extra bonus, but 6.4% damage bonus is not as good
Need more time.
as this 4.25 times bonus. Alright, so because we have 2 weapons and 1 offhand, either the Death Wish or the Aether Walker has to be main hand. This has to be offhand. And I always put Death Wish here. I don't know what it is with me mispronouncing words today. Because you want that maximum bonus. That's, what is that, 200 and something to 325? That's the old one. I know I have a new one. There's the new one. Yeah, 250 to 325 is the bonus.
Still waiting.
Alright, so this is kind of, you always put Death Wish in the cube, you always wear Aether Walker, and, wield Aether Walker and wear Etched Sigil. Yeah, that goes up to 125 to 150 now. It didn't used to have any range at all, which, yeah, that's why I'm using it, is because, well, let's see, this says, while you're channeling, you increase, and it also casts. So, it just gives me general extra damage. So those 3 dictate that this is going to be in the cube, and then I have the 3 rings. Manifold Heal, because I'm using lightning. Convention of Elements, I'm using all 4 damage types, so this is really good. And then must have now, because of the bonus, Halo of gr90. So that's extra. That was like 40 to 50%. I have the old one here. It's maybe not important to most people, but it's nice to be able to pull up one of these old ones. Yeah, here's the old one. It was 45 to 60%, and now I believe, if I can find a new one, and I probably don't have the new one here. Yeah, 45 to 60%. Well, now it goes up to 80%. So I think it's 60 to 80% or 65 to 80% is the range now. So you need that. It's awesome. And I'm using Storm Armor anyway because this will reduce my costs. And you see that my Arcane Fool down here is gaining while I'm shooting. And then if you hold down the teleport, you'll see that there's a net loss of Arcane Power. But if I let go of the continuous channeling, and I'll get this back up.
Still waiting.
It's not really bad. So you can get your 6 jumps easy, and then you hit a few people, and while you're shooting, you're not teleporting. You're still gaining Arcane Power. And of course, if you have your fireball and your lightning up, and you're shooting and you teleport. Now you got that 4 stack down here, and as long as you keep teleporting once a second, it stays really cool down. And you don't have to, you don't have to teleport a lot, but you can teleport quite a bit. And here's the problem, is your channeling stops while you're teleporting. I'm just holding the button down. If you want to use the numlock key to hold that down, you're risking running out of mana and not being able to quickly jump it back by not shooting. Now, shooting monsters with, I've got Arcane Power on crit here. It's kind of hard to move the mouse over, but that one's 3 Arcane Power on crit. This one's 3 Arcane Power on crit, so I'm getting 6 Arcane Power on crit. This didn't roll with it. I think it can now, but it didn't used to before. But that's enough to quickly generate, and I can hold down the teleport practically during combat.
Not ready yet.
You don't want to hold it down because, like I said, while it's held down, you're not shooting. See, not shooting you're not getting your meteors and your blizzard. So you just want to tap it. You can tap it really fast. There's a little bit of a race condition here where it doesn't want to go off every time because Arcane Torrent has triggered, so it blocks the teleport. But if I was hitting monsters, I wouldn't have run out of Arcane Power. And that's the key, is you have to be hitting monsters if you're going to use a lot of teleport. So now we have the ring slots of 1, 2, 3. We have the Manifold Heal, the Convention of Elements, and the Halo of gr90. One of those goes in. I have Halo of gr90 because I didn't have a good one rolled. This is, Legacy, whatever, current. the old one and the old one, so that's why I chose there. But whatever you have best of, you wear, and the least of the best is the one you have in the cube. Now, this has to be in the cube because we need the 6-piece, and the only thing I have option-wise here is either use a Ring of Royal Grandeur, which gives up one of my rings, or I have to have the offhand, which means that I have to give up Death Wish. Now, you might like, okay, we'll just give up Aether Walker. Well, then you have your teleport issue where you have your 11-second cooldown, and you lose all advantage of the high mobility that this particular build has. So it's pretty much dictated that you have to wear the belt here, so you have to have the belt in the cube. And then all the other items that are part of the set are have-tos. So that covers everything but the boots, the shoulders, and the wrists bracers. Boots need Nilfer's boost because that's 900% damage to small targets. So elites and that sort of thing. Now, if you're in a group of whites, the Meteor Shower is going to get some 900% hits on some of those guys. I find the best solution is to hit at the edge of the screen. So if you're sitting here, one of the neat things about Arcane Torrent that's better than Disintegrate or Ray of Frost is you can shoot the far edge of the screen. These traditional, the two Arcane, or Disintegrate and Ray of Frost, limit how far they can shoot. So I found that if you shoot the edge of the screen, I think there's some sort of failure to take into consideration guys beyond the screen. It might be something to stop people from hitting monsters that can't see you. So you don't hit the guys just off the screen, so you can actually hit 3 or fewer even though they're in a group, as long as you're hitting at the edge of the screen. So I typically get that 900 boost if I shoot at the edge of the screen. Now that would tend to make you think that if you're going to hit at the edge of the screen a lot, you probably want to use Zai's Stone of Vengeance, and you don't. I do a lot of my damage from the Blizzard, the Lightning, the Arcane, and the Fire balls triggered by Talrash's set. It's like when you do damage, you drop a fireball. That's where most of the damage is. That's where I'm getting my 1T and 2T damage. And people with better augments and better gear have been getting
just
10 and 20T with other builds. Suspicious. So this is not a top tier pushing build, but even with no primals and decent ancients and some augments. They're not the greatest augments. I could probably put hundreds on there now, but like that's an 81 augment. with better augments, could easily do high 90 solo. I'm going to do a 90 solo, and you can see how easy it is. This is the only reason I can do anything up there is because of the increased toughness. This takes my toughness and multiplies it by 10. So this will be 300 million. On the PTR it was 600 million, and they nerfed it. But in regular play with this, it's going to be 300 million. So this is going to be really nice. Yeah. So the boots have to be in there for that extra damage. This has to be in there to keep the Arcane Torrent going, and this has to be the Lightning. You have to use that for it. You have to use this. You need a lightning damage. You need a cold damage. You need an arcane damage, and you need a fire damage. You could probably swap these, but I like the 2.5 second chance to be frozen. 100% chance to be frozen. So that brings up, why don't we have Ice Blink? Now, if you're doing a support build, Ice Blink would be nice. Because this will 2% chance increased critical hit. It's because you're chilling them. Yeah, you're going to get some increased chance to critical hit. But Bane of the Powerful gives you 35% extra damage on elites, 20% on everybody. And it just, as I play, like with some of these other ones, I can do a 7-minute with Zai's, and I can do 5 minutes, same difficulty, same density with Bane of the Powerful. So it saves me those 2 minutes to use Bane of the Powerful. So it's the best of all of these options for solo. Now, Bane of the Trapped and Taeguk are the ultimate bests here, because I'm doing a lot of stun, and of course the Calamity is going to give you some stun. Now, what's really great is you get this going. I always do Meteor and Lightning first. Get that 2 going because it's really hard to tell which one you haven't done, and you'll use up a lot of mana. So now I've got the Taeguk going, and if you keep this going, you get the 10 stack of Taeguk, and then you just move. You never walk, so you don't need any movement speed. And you get into some battle, and that'll pop your mana up quickly. If you don't, just standing still keeps your mana up, and that keeps your 4 going. That's kind of your most important, because it's really easy to bring this back up. You don't care about losing this 10 stack of Taeguk, but you can keep that up most. You don't have to worry about it. I can almost do this, was it C, take everything off, and run
Still
around.
waiting.
You don't have to worry about it, because you know it's going to be there. As long as you don't run out of mana, because you're doing too many teleports, that's your big thing, don't do too many teleports. You don't need that on the screen. But, it's good to have it so you can see what you're doing. Also, when Convention of Elements comes up with like fire, you want to drop in a couple fireballs manually. You're going to have the mana for it. You can see how I still have my 4 stack, got the 5 really quick. Here's cold, drop some blizzards. If you haven't triggered that Meteor yet from Tal Rasha's, like when you first start this, you can shoot, bump in, you'll hit all 4 damage types, you'll get all 4 missiles, and even at 90, you just instantly kill, like one shot, everything on the first attack, because you stack all of those meteors together. Now, I'm running with Mantle of Channeling because it gives me extra defense and extra offense, and it's not required, but it's probably the best thing you can put there. I mean, there's some options where you can have an extra life. That's the one set bounty thing. I know it's in here. Let's just go to my set. Okay, so I know it's in here. Yeah, it's the shoulders that give you an extra life. But it's like a 25% chance at an extra life. Alright, so this is my magic find, or not magic find, but magic user stuff. And there's that. And there's things I haven't processed. There it is. Paladins of the Skeleton King, when you receive fatal damage, you have a 25% chance at an extra life. I would probably use that if it was not 25%. I think people on hardcore never use it because, if you're in a situation where a 25% chance is useful, you're not in a good place and you're not playing hardcore right. And I feel the same as in softcore. If you're using this, it's because you're trying to find a fix for a broken build. And this extra damage, that's what you really want, extra damage. So, using Mantle of Channeling because I think it's the best. There's what? I think I have one of these. Corruption for the extra pickup. You don't use that in Greater Rifts. So that's not really useful. And I think there's one other one, like Gives Thorns or something, that people sometimes use. But yeah, so Reaper's Wraps will give you more resource back, and you think if you're using a continuous left click or right click, secondary power. Let me see, what is that called? Mouse skills? No. Secondary, yeah. Secondaries are basically your spenders. If you're using a constant spender as your main attack, well then, they're going to think you probably need some resource regeneration, but this build doesn't need it. And of course, here's some defense with Ancient Parthian Defenders. There's some more damage. If I'm in a Greater Rift, let's see, we got 2 there. That's 3. Yeah, I don't really use poison skills. Life per hit. Lightning damage. I bet this one's my better damage because of lightning. Yeah. So, we're going to go into the Greater Rift with extra damage. Because, well, you're going to have 2 point 5 seconds of frozen, which is a crowd control effect. You're going to have some stun from teleport, which is a crowd control effect. Looking at the passives, paralysis anytime I use lightning, which is why lightning's my main damage dealer, because I want to channel lightning so I can have as many of these chances to stun as possible. Pardon me. All of that is going to trigger the other thing, the paralysis. So yeah, we get this, and that stuns him. That gives us more damage once paralysis is hitting. Then our mantled heal is going to really hit the damage, and I think that's why people at a long distance away, when I'm primarily hitting them with the lightning attack, are taking a lot of damage. And of course, extra life, because sometimes things mess up. We want a little more arcane power generation. You know, I don't have to have this. I mean, there's some other ones for defense. This is cooldowns, who cares? Increase the damage, but takes more damage. 30% damage to people within 15 yards. Meh, you know, these are good. I like this because I don't like to worry about my mana and, you know, gaining. You know, say if I fire off these spells, you can see I'm gaining, and that's partially because of this. And then, of course, since we're running with all 4 types, let's get us an extra 20% damage. You know, just here, that's a nice 20. You know, I can give up my 15% here for a 20 here, and that sort of thing. So that's kind of how we're set it up. You know, I put this on my left click because I don't want that hang every time you fire a missile when you mean to walk. And that's kind of how I start up everything, is I just do, you know, fire and blizzard, meteor and blizzard, get my 2 stacks up.
Need more time.
And then, as long as you're doing 2 different kinds, it says on the thing that it'll refresh. You don't have to do one of each kind, just do a different kind. So I got my lightning continuously, and then I use my the teleport to be the ABA, that gives this complete cooldown. So that's all that. Yeah, I'm trying to get one of these really good. But yes, so the only ones that aren't absolutely required are the boots, the shoulders, and the wrists. And the boots, I call this required, even though the build will work with it. You just won't do as much damage. And I actually do have, you know, if you want to think about it, here's my DB farming build. It has different boots and different gloves, but because it has the Ring of Royal Grandeur, I can get away with 5 Talrashes. And of course I need that so I can get the 2 bonus. So I get the 6 bonus for Tals, I get the 2 bonus for the set, so that's why that one's pretty good. And then I'm wearing the belt, which makes it so the boots are in the cube, the sigil's in the cube, and then of course mantled heal is in the cube because I have a pretty decent convention of elements. It's only 1 less than max, and it's a good roll with the socket and the crit chance and crit damage. So yeah, and it's ancient. So that's why mantled heal is in the cube and convention of elements is not. Why is Royal Ring of Grandeur not in the cube? Because I want the maximum mantled heal. And you see I have got the mantled channeling and I've got the nemesis bracers because this is my DB farming build, so you want to trigger a bunch. But you know, this one works as 2, but see I have to give up Death Wish. That's what's going on here. And it's, you know, got to give up a ring slot, but I was going to do that because it's, you know, then I can have a little more freedom. You know, otherwise I'd have to have the belt here and this here, and I wouldn't be able to get this 900 bonus here. So this is the ideal for DBs. But we're going to show the is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. We're going to show a high rift push. Well, actually just more of a speed farm. And am I like 10 minutes into this thing before I ever go into the rift? You're supposed to do the explanation afterwards, but you know, I'm just doing this kind of as fun. All right, so I was leveling gems before. Now we're going to just run. We're about 300 million sheet deeps. I could get that up a little bit, you know, especially since. No, let's see. Do I have one that has? Yeah. I could probably drop a an augment on that. And a more defense or more offense, yeah. So, I could probably get this up higher if I had a better augment on this. So, we're ready to go. We got Teguk for our, that's, what is it, 58% more damage. And we've got Band of the Trapped for 43.5% more damage. And then this is, just the rock solid 35% more damage. So here we go. Okay.
Are you strong enough to survive the trials?
And we got our full 4. Now, this should hit them pretty hard. Using the extra damage there now. I should be going faster than this. This is not going to work if I don't go faster. And you see I'm jumping back and forth. They really can't bargain. This is mostly to get away from that guy who's jumping at me. Charging.
Still waiting.
Alright, so where are some of these? Yeah, we want to hit these guys 3 or less. We also want to stand in this. And he's got lifelink. Is that right?
I must wait longer. Health returns.
Let's get some health. It's those, out. The, little waspy dart thing. So health link is what it's called. Lifelink is a Magic the Gathering ability. I've been looking at Magic all day.
Need more time.
Alright, so we're breaking even. This is not a good thing. I should be going faster. Talk less, play more. Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
Jump
did
before they hit you, not after. Alright.
Still waiting.
This is not good. Let's see if we have... So they've got floor effects, which aren't nice. But there's only 3 of them, so I should be getting my maximum damage here. There they go.
I need healing.
Not too good. So, if you're kind of damaged and you want to stay out of it, you use the Blizzard or the Meteor to keep that core stack up on the towels.
He is still waiting.
Alright, you, by yourself, all the damage is on you now. Take some damage. Alright. So, yeah, we're doing a 90,
Need
things
more
aren't too
time.
bad. Usually I do with this walking Meteor barrage. So they can't be stunned permanently, but as long as you hit them fresh,
attack me?
you can,
Not ready yet.
I'm getting a little bit of deadline or whatever that was what they call where you're doing damage. Alright. You're not doing a meteor, so I manually didn't
time.
run that guy. That's to get all of the right damage types. This is speed. Oh, you know what? I don't have Nemesis bracers. That's one of the ways that I get things faster. Now, speed should be giving me a little more damage. I got 6 million sheet deeps right now, but it's not really that great. If you're stacking, if you're making a choice between crit hit, crit down, and attack speed, this is not an attack speed. So you do want to go with the crit hit and the crit damage. Crit hit, crit damage work for weapon damage. So that's typically, I just jumped in there to drop a arcane meteor on him. Got this guy. Oh, hey, I don't want to be there. I love the mobility of this. Oh, and that was a missed jump.
I'm healed.
I have to look at the video, but I'm pretty sure I was trying to jump directly to the guy, not past him. Okay, we want to hit you a little more. You don't want to be next to that guy who's trying to hurt me.
Still waiting.
Oh, come on. And we're off. Ah, yes. Jump into a room blind, take some damage, take some lethal damage. That's kind of what the second life there thing is about. Oh, it's the missiles. Yeah, those. This is kind of weak towards missiles, but with the mobility, you can just do the thing about missiles, which is the triangle. I'm doing it now. You just jump in a triangle. as, you know, area effect damage pretty much, so you don't need
Need
to
more time.
be standing still and shooting it like with my other build. Yep. Okay, we're gonna lose the 10 stack, but we'll get it back. And right here we're gonna repeat. Alright, this is not one. Okay, so these guys got, these are Lucchini Huntress. They throw those little lobby bombs, and if I stand still long enough, they will take me out. And because I haven't got my unstable thing back, I'm more concerned about not taking lethal damage. Okay, now I'm a little less concerned. Be a little more. Just wait a little longer before jumps. Wow. Not good.
Still
Not
waiting.
good. Good. We got too many people. Would like to stand in that damage boost. The standard 2. Yay. I don't like it people. One of the things I thought about, you know, saying this was a good hardcore build and putting the gr90 bracers that stop crowd control like that when you get pulled. Because
Need more time.
the times I die is usually because they pull me right into the middle of an explosion. And you don't have time to jump right back out. And I'm not in the explosion because... these guys. Okay, there we go. All of these guys are close.
I wish I could do
nope.
that.
I'm trying to be bold. Finish him off quick. Yeah, took it down. Lethal damage. Okay, so now. That's still not fast enough. I gotta be going faster.
Not ready yet.
Talk less. Yeah. Because you stun when you hop. Kinda just wanna walk this damage in.
You dare attack me?
Walking orders in.
Still waiting.
Oop, yep, there was a big gift fest there. Had a couple meteors, towels hit at the same time with their 900 or whatever, 600 to 900 damage. Okay, let's see if we can do these guys from far. Meteors, wait till the fire's over, and then do. Now I got lightning, so it doesn't matter what I do.
Not ready yet.
I don't want to be there. There's like those waspy things coming in. Hey. Yeah, I hate that I have to target these little wasps because they're keeping me from shooting. Oh. Blizzard. Freezing. Alright, now I can target him. Hey, you see, it's just, you know, he's taking those meteor hits. There's a
Need more
Archon.
time.
Here, take an Archon hit. Archon meteor hit should hit. There's a lightning meteor. And there he's gone. So,
Still
if I
waiting.
get a bad RG, this is gonna not be as impressive. If I get a good RG, I'll get this easily. Now I know other builds, was it Impale, Shadow Impale for Demon Hunter? I
Need
know
more
somebody
time.
who's done a solo 100 with it. These are, no, it wasn't shield. This is not going to do 100 solo, not without better augments. But then again, that person does have over 100 on all his augments. And Shadow Impale is really good at killing a single elite. This is not bad. I mean, when I get the elite alone, I'm doing pretty good damage on a single elite. Okay.
Not ready yet.
I'm just going to kill this guy because I don't like anybody with missiles and meteor or grenades going after me. Okay.
Still
Hang
waiting.
there. What's great about having unlimited teleport is if you use 5 teleports up, you don't get your entire globe down. You see, the minute I start shooting people, I go from a half globe health or power to full globe, just almost instantly. So it's really good. And I have been watching my
ready
stuff. Shield's almost over. I don't know why I was being worried about things until now. Should have been worried. Should have not been worried about taking damage until now.
Your grave
Because I'm not paying
awaits.
attention. Okay. Everybody taking damage.
I'm badly
Need
wounded.
There's burrowers. They're another Achilles heel in this build. They don't take stun. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's because they're underground they don't take stun, or if they just don't take stun in general. But they will.
Still
harm me.
waiting.
Okay, he's gone. And dropping in. Meteors. Have
ready yet.
Alright. Doing short hops so that people jump to me, they jump to where I was. Ow. That wasn't good. Let's go back here and take some more of this. I love the mobility. I'm taking some
I wish
hits.
I could do that.
I need to, thought I was safe there. But he was off screen when I jumped.
Heal me.
Again! No. Ah,
I must
okay.
wait longer.
Jump. Don't sit there. Okay, I'm really vulnerable right now. So I need to, there we go, get at least some height. Okay, that wasn't fun. I'm just going to go over here just to kill some time. Okay, I need to get out of this level.
Need more time.
A lot of weights here. I want to kill someone. Okay, so you guys are missiles. I'm jumping in a straight line. Not good.
Not ready
A
yet.
triangle. Yeah, sit there. Every time.
Still
I
waiting.
stop
I
jumping.
need healing.
Damn you. Hey,
Heal.
I'm trying to jump on that globe. I don't know, I think my mouse cursor is decoupled from the screen cursor. That's causing
Need
some
more time.
issues. Okay, take some damage. These aren't. Yes, they are. Fighting an elite pack, and I thought I was fighting a white pack. I'm not paying attention.
I need arcane power.
Alrighty. Just one guy. Take some damage. That's the only time I've walked the whole level. Oh,
Not
that's
ready
one of my
yet.
problems.
I don't have enough arcane power.
Yeah, my stuff cooled down. I didn't refresh it. No, you stay around here long enough. Die. There we go. Take them all. Jump
Still
along.
waiting.
Don't like this level. I don't like anything that has missiles. Also, it's right. Okay, so these guys have spears. As long as you keep walking, you know, they'll shoot where I was, kind of thing. Yep, I jumped before you did that. Oh. So you don't wait for the graphics on screen to show that they're throwing a spear. Just internally time it.
I need healing.
Ow.
Need more time.
Okay. Big guys don't take stuff so well. Have a arcane meteor. There you go. Big shot. Alright, taken out. No. I see you guys. The only reason is because these are pretty easy to kill. Even though they're very dangerous to toy with. Take some meteors.
Still waiting.
Don't want to be here. Take some meteors. Boom. You. There. And you're just a big guy. You're gone. I don't like these moths. Alright, what do we
Need
got?
more time.
Moving on. Yeah, I can probably take mongrels aren't too bad. The spears are going to get me. And I have no ability to pull these guys together. And the guy does have Johanna Vess, so my follower can pull these guys together. It's not really ability
How does that feel?
one to pull them together. I've got to play around with these guys before I can go after these guys. Okay,
wish
we
I
don't
could
want to
do
be here.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
Alright. What do I got? Minute? And a minute, 40 seconds. Okay, jump in, jump out. Come on, take some damage. Why are you not taking any damage? Got 10, I got that. Got some fire.
Not ready yet. I'm injured.
There you go. Damage. Jumping. Take some damage. Oh! Here, take some arcane damage. Oh. You're gonna get me. You're gonna get me. Jumping.
Need more time.
20, 28. No! Take some damage. Come on, I got 20 seconds. No. Not forgiving of, no. 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 12 seconds. Take some damage. Take arcane. 5 seconds. I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna stay here. Alright. So 2 seconds remaining. I did not do that on purpose. That was not meant to be that close. This can really do a lot better. If I was checking my convention elements and doing a little extra damage whenever that particular type of thing came forward, saving my teleport until something came up. Everything's over 90. I have some 86s. There's a couple 90s. Wait, that's a 91? Wait. No, this is 60%. I've seen the 90 thinking it's 90%, and I'm like, why am I doing that? Alright, so I only got 2 upgrades.
I need to go back.
So that's, he's at 300 or he's 3.2 million probably because of this Bane of the Powerful. I'm going to do some things here. Might as well show you what I got. None of it's going to be great, but watch all that. You want to see how I pulled at the end. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of putting Reinhardt, but that 10,000 doesn't seem to really make me happy. Anyway, so that's the build, and you can see that it is Grift 90 solo capable very easily. A little extra attention on my part and less talking. I could have done that much faster. And little few more augments, get this intelligence over 20,000, and it should be a breeze. So that's the build. I'm gonna post it. Gonna put this on the link and share it with the world. Hope you enjoy it. It's great for fast farming, especially with that Death's Breath version I showed you. And if you can push up to 90 with decent gear, you can easily get all your gems up to 70 at 100% every time. And better gear, you can get up to 80, 100% every time. And so a lot fewer runs for those low-level gems. It's good in group because of all of the stun. Like I said, I could put some ice blink on and maybe work on with all this cold going on, I could put in some frost burns. 50% chance, to freeze. Might be nice. Of course, then got to use a Ring of Royal Grandeur if you're going to start messing around with these central Tal Rasha ones. I mean, the belt and the offhand are about the only place I mess around. Everything else has to be Tal Rashas. Attack speed, that's another thing I didn't get into. This is 1.62, what I've heard. I don't know if I trust these guys' numbers, but it's the only numbers that I've seen posted, that you want to be in the 1.56 to 1.66 range, so that when Tal's goes to do its Meteor drop, you have no delay. If you're outside of that range, you end up with some frame drops, according to this guy. I don't know if I believe it, but no attack speed on my main weapon. I've got 6 over here, and the Paragons, of course, I've got attack speed at full 10. I think that's the only attack speed I have. The only place it would be is in these, and they don't have any. So 10, 6, and this is at 1.4 base. Gives me my 162, which is within that range. And since these meteors can't drop faster than once a second, it really doesn't matter if you're getting 2 attacks per second or 1 attack per second. As long as you're getting an attack per second, your Tals will drop that extra meteor. and this channeling will make sure that you're getting these. Oh, I did check. Yes, when Etched Sigil is proccing my mana spenders, which is the Meteor and the Blizzard, Towels is dropping a Fire and Ice Meteor, and the 600 to 800 bonus damage is proccing. So that's always nice. And so, you know, I'm always doing static discharge Arcane Torrent, so I'm always doing lightning damage, and that's always triggering my Blizzard and my Fire. So the only time I can decide to do one of those Talrosh and Meteors is with Teleport. And in reality, I just walk my damage through large groups, and if they have missile, then I have to do that triangle thing so that their missiles are always going where I was, not where I am. Yeah. I don't like thorns. You'll notice there's no thorns on this, but that's just me, personal preference. I put 20% area damage on this. I think that was a mistake. I'm trying to remember what I had on here before that, but that was putting me up to 70%. I thought that was going to do something really good. It just really kind of messes with the natural flow, so that I can keep my Arcane Torrent always and Teleport. The more area damage you have, the more it starts to say not ready yet with the Teleport, and that's you know, that's just that. So yeah, I have a lot of crit chance, you know, 60%. I got a lot of crit damage, 470. Yeah. Attack speed increase. Yeah, there's the 6. Yeah, that's the 10 plus the 6. That's how that's working. I don't know why it would be 10 plus 6, but I guess it's Paragons don't factor into that group, and the weapon doesn't factor into the group, but I don't have that. So bonus damage to elites is from Bane of the Powerful. Damage by skills. That would be. What would that be? It can't be. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I didn't really plan to go into too much detail. I did the vitality here because I wanted to have more defense. I really need that to be 1 million, but you know, I'm not willing to give up any damage for it. And of course, if I that's cold skills. Yeah. If I put that on, yeah, it's a little more. Yeah, who cares? Yeah, this is my best build. Now, you might think he's got a socket. Well, I didn't really roll anything better, and this is not a keeper. It's only 8% crit damage, and only 3 on the arcane power. This is not a keeper, so I'm not really re-rolling this too much. A little extra damage. It seems to like having lots of intelligence. That's where it really gets into these extra damage things. Let's see what they were saying here. Yeah, we're running 3,000 extra damage on this set because we always have all 4 up. So that's 750 times 4, and it's always fresh because, you know, alternating with Teleport and Arcane Torrent works, and you don't even have to do that intelligent or on purpose. It just happens naturally. And my resistances are up always. Yeah, that's that 2 set gives me those meteors. I mean, having the extra set damage is nice. I've heard people try to do Firebirds. Yeah. But you're gonna give up 3,000% damage to get Firebird's burning thing, and then you don't really leave a lot behind. Those meteors, and if those guys walk up behind you, you know, lightning's gonna sap them, and that's gonna drop a lightning meteor on them, and you know, usually you can kill them that way. You don't have to pay attention too much. It's a very easy build. It's kind of build, you know, I set up for my wife, and she loves it. She tends to hit the teleport too much, so I have to keep harping on her that teleport's not unlimited. Maybe the Arcane Torrent is, but teleport's not unlimited. So, you know, hit it once a second is good enough. And you saw when I was taking that missile damage, I didn't die. Came close because I wasn't paying attention, but I didn't die because I was doing my triangle, which I can do here without a lot of distraction. But as long as you're doing that, and you see, even though I'm not doing much of anything else, I can almost do this forever. You need to delay it just a little bit. Delay it too much
Not
and they
ready
will
yet.
hit you with the missiles, but you're doing this, and as long as you're shooting something, you're getting that arcane power on crit, yeah, you can do this forever. So, that's the build. Hope you liked it. I'm going to post it, and I hope it's not necessarily the meta, but good for kind of a in-Z deeps is how I'm going to call it. So it's got that lockdown with frozen, and you know, that's stun for 2.5 seconds, the stun for 1 second, the stun for 1.5 seconds. Now it's all stun, so it's going to, well, frozen's not, but these two stuns kind of compete. They stack, and if you stun somebody who's stunned, you don't get as much seconds of stun as this says there, because it's diminishing returns. So, you know, frozen's nice. It's always 2.5 seconds. I thought about, you know, extending that, you know, with some of these extendings. What is this? There's something that extends. That's an amulet. Probably don't have it on. Oh. Well, yeah, I took that off because I didn't like how he was pulling things. Yeah, this guy has some stun for his lightning, and that triggers his lightning, and then that has some stun. That's a freeze. So, and he can't die, so that's kind of hard to get this Oculus Ring damage bonus if he's dead. So that's how it is. I don't think I really cared much about this. It gives me a little more arcane power. I figure stunning enemies for 3 seconds. See, I'm really kind of focused on the stun. Slowed and taunt. I don't know if they call that a crowd control effect, but it does shift the target away from me and he can't die. So that's how that is. Hope you like it. This is kind of how I like to run with the Nemesis Bracer. So I'm, you know, not normally pushing, and I don't really need. I mean, if I'm going to go up to 100, I'm going to definitely grab our Ancient Parthan Defenders, just because I want the extra defense. And I'm really close to everybody, and I'm stunning everybody, so it works. So, hope you like it. Thank you. Good night.